I've decided that I am with great enthusiasm going to endorse Joe Biden for president of the United States. I believe in Joe.
So I've always been a fan of the show, don't tell school of writing. So I would say if you're gonna do it with great enthusiasm, do it with great enthusiasm. Don't just say that it's with great enthusiasm. But that is Senator Kamala Harris endorsing Joe Biden. And Emma Vigeland joins us once again. Emma, how big will this endorsement be?
California already voted. It's only going to reinforce all of what people already, the people who are already going to vote for Joe Biden, the fact that establishment people are lining up behind him. That's a huge part of it for them. I think the Buttigieg and Klobuchar endorsements were way bigger because they were already in the race and it happened right before Super Tuesday. Obviously, we saw how the results panned out remarkably terribly for Bernie Sanders, did quite well for Joe Biden in ways I never could have expected, to be honest with you. I was dead wrong. So look, I mean, this is really the establishment striking back. And I'm just shocked that after these candidates were bringing up such specific, I mean, Kamala Harris very famously, arguments against Joe Biden about his long history where he opposed busing. And that little girl was me, one of the most memorable moments of the primary, to enthusiastically support Joe Biden. Like they don't have principles in many ways, and they're hoping to gain something for themselves. And mostly they're hoping to stop Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, you know, it's so weird that all of these candidates who stood on the debate stage and said, Bernie likes to say that he's like the only progressive. No, we're all actually progressive. We're the real progressive. All of them have endorsed the moderate candidate. So weird how that worked out.
Great point, John. That was such a good point.
Thank you. I'm smart. But anyway, so I want to get your read on the reason she said she waited until now to do the endorsement and my theory of why it actually was. So she said, I had 2 women colleagues in the race and I did not feel right putting my thumb on the scale that in any way would harm their candidacy. So when Elizabeth announced that she was getting out of the race, I let Joe know that I would endorse him. So she's saying she wouldn't endorse until there were no women because she didn't want to hurt a female candidate. I would argue that if her endorsement was going to really matter, it was going to matter for California, but it looked like Bernie Sanders was going to win California anyway, and so why would she endorse Joe Biden and then have it look like her endorsement didn't matter? This seems to me to be more about protecting herself rather than protecting Klobuchar and Warren.
Oh, absolutely. And there was a window between when Klobuchar dropped out and Warren did. So if this was your feminist rah-rah moment, why didn't you endorse Elizabeth Warren before Super Tuesday? You could have done that, Kamala Harris. And again, this toothless corporate feminism is so frustrating. It really takes away from legitimate fights for feminist ideals and principles and female equality to just be like, you know, oh, it was all about their gender. It's about the policies. And this doesn't resonate with anyone except for upper middle class, upper class, more elitist feminists who just want to, you know, put a hashtag on Twitter and don't have it affect their lives, or go to the Women's March and take an Instagram, whatever. This is not about electoral politics and how it connects with people and how it affects people's lives. This is just kind of like saying, oh, I was just gonna support a woman or whatever. Again, as I said before, it's toothless and it's honestly a turnoff for the general electorate. It may play in kind of upper crust elitist liberal circles, but it certainly doesn't play with a majority of voters, in my view.
Maybe. Now, Harris was not the only one who endorsed him. Cory Booker, another one of the true progressives who just had disagreements with Bernie Sanders. It wasn't that he was actually a moderate pretending to be a progressive. He has endorsed Joe Biden as well, which in both of these cases, so you mentioned the I was that girl line. For Cory Booker, people are bringing up, like we talked about the, Cory Booker expressing concern for Joe Biden's mental state and all of that. But you also had this old tweet from June of last year resurrecting itself when a woman named Emily said, me realizing I'm going to have to vote for Joe Biden in 2020 and looking sad, and Cory Booker retweeting it with, no, you won't.
Well,
how the turntables anyway.
Have turned, yes, right. But no, it looks like, yeah, he's now saying you will have to vote for Joe Biden if you agree with me. It goes to show how institutionally corrupt the Democratic Party is. And obviously, I think Democrats are way better than Republicans. They're both corrupt, I get it. But the Republicans are just nakedly beholden to corporate interests and to wealthy people. The Democrats would improve lives on the whole. That's my position. But when it comes to the structure of the National Democratic Party, of the DNC, institutionally, it is more corrupt than the Republicans because of really just the superdelegate point, as well as this blowback from the establishment. Donald Trump was who the base wanted in 2016. And a lot of the Republican establishment wasn't happy about it, but they didn't actively coalesce to really block Donald Trump from being the nominee. It's not exactly analogous, but the superdelegates, the institutional structure of the party, because Bernie Sanders threatens corporate interests in the way Trump obviously didn't, and no Republican candidate did. The Democratic Party is so terrified that they have to have these candidates coalesce, and that they weren't able to get rid of the undemocratic superdelegates that were designed as a fail-safe to block Bernie Sanders if he were the nominee.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.